So, very good evening to all of you, and let us begin while the others join in. So, as we are into the session 2, last session we tried to understand as to what is actually the meaning of OD, what is its scope, and what all does it contain. So, today we are going into more details. But please remember that in one hour classes, the kind of session details that are there cannot be covered. So I try to cover the essence, but the rest of the material is available with me. You have to share your email IDs with me and you can take it, not a problem. So that you have more details. Basically, whatever we discuss in the class, there will be more details of that. So today the essence is that we will try to stick to timings. So 6 to 7 we will have the inputs from my side, and then maybe 15 minutes for QA. And after that, if any questions remain, of course you can connect offline, you can mail me or whatever, right? So that is the approach we will take from today. So coming to the specific session details, now, as your syllabus tells me, your session 2 concentrates on, as you can see, various methods of OD. And this is the same content for session 2 and 3. There are 3 methods defined for this session, and there are 4 methods defined for session 3, right? So, in OD, you will never find exactly same terminology in different authors, articles, and books. So don't get confused. Some people will call this methods. Some people will call it ways. Some people will call it the tools of OD. So these are interchangeable terms. So I am going as per the defined syllabus for ISTD. So as you can see, there are 3 methods that we need to discuss here as of today. One, as you can see, is action research. Second is the survey feedback, and third is team building. So we will briefly cover all this. But before that, we have to, as introduction, you must know this, that broadly all types of OD, whatever method you use, but the broad intervention of OD, last time, if you recall, that OD starts with diagnosis, then there is intervention, and then there is the maintenance part of it. So there are broadly 2 types of interventions. One is called the structural intervention, and the second category is called the process interventions. So structure, as you all know, most of you are working in organizations and have fairly good experience already. So you know that every organization has an organizational structure. So it could be in terms of departments, it could be in terms of products, could be in terms of locations. There is some kind of a structuring. And even within one particular department, there would be a structure. At the first line, when MBAs will join as freshers, they will be in the junior management category, maybe reporting to an assistant manager or something. And then they will themselves grow into assistant managers, and they will report into managers. And then there'll be branch managers and regional managers and country sales managers and all of that. So every department will also have some kind of a hierarchy. So structure is a broad word which describes how the entire organization is created in terms of functions, in terms of the levels that they have within each department, in terms of the products that they produce. And a term which I always cover, probably you would have, when I do the business strategy and HRD, you may have come across even now. It is called SBU, Strategic Business Unit Structure. So when one particular company produces a large variety of products, they need a structure which is different from the normal functional organizational structure. So I would not go beyond that because that is part of business strategy and HRD or fundamentals of management. So otherwise our three key topics for today will remain undone. But if you need to know more about structure, you need to refer to those kind of books and gain some more input. So when we intervene at the structure level, for example, we merge two departments into one. Then we did actually at Escorts, we had a separate division only for marketing of tractors, which was called FED, Farm Equipment Division. And we had a tractor division, which was manufacturing the tractors. But it was a strange thing. There was always a conflict. The salespeople would say that these are the production flaws. Production people will tell the salespeople, you don't know how to sell and you keep blaming us. So finally, they were both merged into one division, and that was called the Agri Machinery Division, Agricultural Machinery Division, which incorporated both sales as well as production. So with one person heading that, those conflicts came to an end because there was one person who was deciding both for sales as well as for production, right? So that is called a structural intervention in OD. And the other part is the process intervention, where you find that the problems that the organization is facing is not due to the structure, but due to the behavioral patterns of people. People are behaving selfishly, they are not contributing to the team, etc., etc. किसी भी टीम गेम में ये कई बार बात सामने आती है कि भाई वो प्लेयर बड़ा सेल्फिश प्लेयर है, अपने सेंचुरी के चक्कर में टीम को हरवा दिया. Now when those kind of things come up, now that is not a structural problem. Structure तो ठीक है टीम का, but process, behavioral problem, right? उसको बोलते हैं process. So normally आप देखोगे जब आप structural intervention करोगे, एक दो एग्जांपल हम लेंगे आगे, तब थोड़ा बहुत process intervention की भी जरूरत पड़ेगी. वो मैं जब वो एग्जांपल आएगा तब बताऊंगा. और जब आप प्रोसेस इंटरवेंशन भी करोगे, शायद थोड़ा बहुत आपको स्ट्रक्चरल भी करना पड़ेगा. सो बोथ गो हैंड इन हैंड. अब देखिए स्ट्रक्चरल इंटरवेंशन. आई विल गिव यू अ मिनट टू क्विकली रीड थ्रू. मैं बता चुका हूं ये आपको. So the first para exactly defines what structural intervention is. But as you can see in the second para, जब भी आप structural intervention करोगे, कहीं ना कहीं behavior of organizational members उसमें आएगा. एकदम 100% structural आप नहीं सोच सकते. ये आपको मान के चलना पड़ेगा कि structural जब आप करोगे, उसमें कहीं ना कहीं थोड़ा behavioral element आएगा. अभी आगे और clear हो जाएगा ये. देखिए, इंट्रोडक्शन ऑफ न्यू टेक्नोलॉजी, अगर आप इसको सुपरफिशियली देखें तो क्या है ये? स्ट्रक्चरल इंटरवेंशन है, इसमें कोई बिहेवियर की बात तो है नहीं. इट इज क्लियरली अ स्ट्रक्चरल इंटरवेंशन. बट जब आप टेक्नोलॉजी का चेंज लाते हैं तो जो उस टेक्नोलॉजी पे काम करते हैं, क्या उनको थोड़ा सा अपने बिहेवियर में चेंज लाना पड़ेगा या नहीं पड़ेगा? आप यही देख लो, जब मैं आपके क्लासेस फिजिकली लेता था फर्स्ट टर्म में और अब में, हमें थोड़ा बहुत अपने बिहेवियर को चेंज करना पड़ेगा या नहीं पड़ेगा? सो इंटरवेंशन तो स्ट्रक्चरल हुआ है, राइट? बट उसके साथ साथ उस चेंज को सही तरीके से इंप्लीमेंट करने के लिए हमें कहीं ना कहीं प्रोसेस इंटरवेंशन भी चाहिए. हमें कुछ आदतें अपनी बदलनी पड़ेगी, राइट? सिमिलरली सेकंड, 8 hours a day, 5 day वीक अगर है तो आप 40 घंटे काम करते हैं. अब आपने रिक्वेस्ट किया कि नहीं भाई हम 10 घंटे कर देंगे पर 4 दिन का वीक बना दो. One of the IT companies, I am forgetting which one, actually has implemented that in Japan. और बड़ी बात चली थी पीछे उसकी, और लोग बहुत एक्साइटेड थे कि बड़ा प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ गया, ये बढ़ गया, वो बढ़ गया. बट बीइंग फ्रॉम HR, मैंने वहां ये इनपुट दिया था और ये फेसबुक पे भी आया था, वहां भी मैंने लिखा था कि अभी रुकिए, इनिशियल यूफोरिया को डाई डाउन करने दीजिए, ये ह्यूमन बिहेवियर है, 1 साल रुकिए, उसके बाद वो बोलेंगे 3 दिन का ही हफ्ता कर दो जी, 4 दिन भी बहुत ज्यादा है। सो दिस इज व्हाट वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड अबाउट ह्यूमन बिहेवियर। सो घंटे पूरे 40 ही हैं, ये स्ट्रक्चरल इंटरवेंशन है, टाइम बदल दिया, पर उसके साथ साथ बिहेवियर भी बदलना पड़ेगा। 2 घंटे अगर आपको ऑफिस में ज्यादा रुकना है या 2 घंटे जल्दी आना है, तो आपकी जो सुबह की बस की, ट्रेन की, कार की, रोड की सिचुएशन, जो भी ट्रैफिक की, सब चीजों की वजह से शायद आपको कुछ आसान हो जाए या हो सकता है कुछ मुश्किल भी हो जाए। सो आपके बिहेवियर में भी चेंज कहीं ना कहीं लाना पड़ेगा टू इम्प्लीमेंट दिस स्ट्रक्चरल इंटरवेंशन। तीसरा, न्यू कम्युनिकेशन सिस्टम। हम लोगों ने तो ये बहुत देखा है, मेरे एज कॉलेज लेवल तक आई हैड एब्सोल्युटली नो एक्सपोजर टू कंप्यूटर्स। जब हमने काम करना शुरू किया डीसीएम में, पहली बार मैंने कंप्यूटर देखा कि क्या चीज है, और वहां भी तब ये सीखने वाला फेज हो रहा था, शुरू हो रहा था, राइट। तो पहले हम चिट्ठियां लिखा करते थे, आप लोगों के जनरेशन में तो आपने कभी चिट्ठी लिखी नहीं, ईमेल से ही आपका काम हो गया। व्हाट्सएप पे हमारे तो दूर दूर लैंडलाइन ही नहीं होता था, तो आप व्हाट्सएप और ईमेल तो दूर छोड़ ही दो आप। तो हमने वो फेजेस देखे हैं चेंज के, जहां पेन पेंसिल लेके चिट्ठियां लिखना, उसमें वेट करना कि 1 महीने में उसका जवाब शायद आ जाए, क्योंकि वो डिलीवर होने में ही 7, 8, 10 दिन लग जाएगा। So those kind of things might appear to be stories to you, but we have been through that. And today you are sending a WhatsApp and you expect a message back in 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, or maybe 15 seconds. So again, मैं क्या पॉइंट आपको बता रहा हूं, इंटरवेंशन तो स्ट्रक्चरल है, टेक्नोलॉजी का इंटरवेंशन है, बट उसकी वजह से बिहेवियरल इंटरवेंशन, जिसको प्रोसेस इंटरवेंशन कहते हैं, वो भी होगा। आपके बहुत लंबे चौड़े फैले हुए 10 डिपार्टमेंट हैं आजकल, जैसे आप देख रहे हो, बहुत सारे सीनियर लेवल्स पे बहुत टेंशन बनी हुई है, उनके जॉब कट्स हो रही हैं, तो एक हेड के अंदर 2-2 डिपार्टमेंट्स डाले जा रहे हैं, कहीं कुछ हो रहा है। तो बेसिकली ये भी ऊपर ऊपर से देखोगे इंटरवेंशन है, बट अब आप दोनों देखो, बॉस की तरफ से उसका एक जिम्मा था, अब उसमें एक बी जिम्मा, बी सेट ऑफ रेस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज भी ऐड हो गए। और एम्प्लॉय के पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से देखो, वो एक तरह के बॉस से डील करते थे, अब ये नया बॉस है, पता नहीं कैसे होगा, क्या होगा, उनके बिहेवियर में भी चेंज आना होगा। तो जब भी आप स्ट्रक्चरल, बेसिक मैसेज फ्रॉम दिस स्लाइड इज, जब भी आप स्ट्रक्चरल इंटरवेंशन करते हो, ये कुछ एग्जांपल्स हैं, आपको बिहेवियरल चेंज का भी सोचना पड़ेगा। नेक्स्ट, प्रोसेस इंटरवेंशन। यहां देखिए साफ साफ बाय डेफिनेशन पहले पैरा में कह रहा है, changes the attitudes and the behavioral process of organizational life without altering the structure in any way. यहां पे हम स्ट्रक्चर से नहीं शुरू हो रहे हैं, हम देख रहे हैं कि स्ट्रक्चर ठीक बना हुआ है, बट बिहेवियर लोगों का गड़बड़ है। अगर आप लोगों को चक दे फिल्म याद होगी, तो क्या था उसमें, जो सेमीफाइनल में जाके आपके दोनों जो फॉरवर्ड्स थे लेडीज, शाहरुख खान ने उनको कैसे टीम के लिए खेलना सिखाया रादर देन खुद गोल स्कोर करने के लिए। तो दोस काइंड ऑफ थिंग्स, और ये आप ये मत समझो, मैं तो फिल्मी दुनिया में बिल्कुल बिलीव नहीं करता, ये लोगों के याद रहती है इसलिए बता रहा हूँ। सारी की सारी जो चकदे की स्टोरी है, दीज आर एक्चुअली पिक्ड अप फ्रॉम हॉकी फील्ड। और क्योंकि मैं स्पोर्ट्स एंथुसियास्ट हमेशा हूँ, और इस पे मैंने पूरा प्रेजेंटेशन भी दिया हुआ है चकदे के ऊपर ऑन ट्रांसफॉर्मेशनल लीडरशिप, तो मैंने एक्चुअल हॉकी की स्टोरीज एक्सपर्ट्स से डिस्कस करके मैंने उसमें डाली हुई। तो यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड कि इसमें जो हमारे ओडी के पर्पज से है, कि वो शाहरुख खान ने जो किया वहां पे, वो एक्चुअल हॉकी में हुआ था। और इसमें अनफॉर्चुनेटली बलबीर सिंह सीनियर जो कोच थे उस टाइम, जो इंडिया एक ही बार वर्ल्ड कप जीती थी, अभी ही पास्ट अवे कपल ऑफ डेज बैक, वेरी अनफॉर्चुनेट। वो 2 बार ओलंपिक गोल्ड जीत चुके थे और फिर इस टीम के कोच भी थे। So the whole point you have to understand is, कि यहाँ पे स्ट्रक्चर में कोई कमी नहीं है, ऑर्गेनाइजेशन की स्ट्रक्चर ठीक ठाक है, बट लोगों के बिहेवियर में प्रॉब्लम है, उसको ठीक करना है। ग्रुप डिस्कशन से इस पे असर पड़ सकता है। ग्रुप डिस्कशन से ये निकल सकता है कि हेड ऑफ अ पर्टिकुलर डिपार्टमेंट इज टू इनसेंसिटिव। कई डिपार्टमेंट हेड्स जो हैं अनफॉर्चुनेटली आज भी ऐसे हैं, जिसके पास कोई भी यंगस्टर कोई एग्जाम्पल लेके जाएगा, कोई सजेशन लेके जाएगा, तो वो उनका जवाब इस टाइप का होता है, अरे तुम यार कल के पास आउट हो, तुम क्या सिखाओगे, जितनी तुम्हारी उम्र नहीं हुई उतने हम कैजुअल लीव ले चुके हैं। इस टाइप के जो आइडियाज हैं, तो इनसेंसिटिविटी टू द फीलिंग्स ऑफ अदर्स, ये समझ आती है अगर आप ग्रुप डिस्कशन करते हैं जो अफेक्टेड लोग हैं, और उसमें से फिर सॉल्यूशन निकलता है कि कहां पे हमें बिहेवियर में चेंज लाना होगा। तो दैट इज प्रोसेस इंटरवेंशन। एक्सप्लेनेशन लास्ट टाइम हमने टच किया था कि ओडी कंसल्टेंट यूजुअली बाहर से क्यों लिया जाता है, जबकि इंटरनल ओडी कंसल्टेंट से भी काम हो सकता है। वो एक इंपॉर्टेंट पीस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन या नॉलेज है जो आपको क्लियरली पता होना चाहिए। व्हाट आर द प्लसेस एंड माइनसेस ऑफ इंटरनल एंड एक्सटर्नल ओडी कंसल्टेंट्स। ओके, सो साफ साफ यहाँ पे है कि मेंबर्स के जो उस टीम के मेंबर हैं, उस ग्रुप में काम करते हैं इकट्ठे, उनके एटीट्यूड्स को, वो बॉस भी हो सकता है, वो कलीग भी हो सकता है, वो सबऑर्डिनेट भी हो सकता है, उसमें आपको चेंजेस लाने हैं। दैट इज कॉल्ड अ प्रोसेस इंटरवेंशन। फर्दर जो मैंने स्ट्रक्चरल के लिए कहा था कि जब आप स्ट्रक्चरल लाते हैं तो कुछ ना कुछ प्रोसेस इंटरवेंशन की भी जरूरत हल्की सी होगी। सिमिलरली जब आप प्रोसेस इंटरवेंशन लाते हैं, कहीं ना कहीं स्ट्रक्चरल थोड़ा बहुत साथ में आना जरूरी होता है, राइट? फिर आपको जनरल टाइप्स ऑफ इंटरवेंशन जो है इस तरह के मोटे मोटे होते हैं। ये सब चीजें जो मैं एग्जांपल्स दे रहा हूं आपको एबीसी, ये सब ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में चलती रहती है। ये मिक्स है, कहीं पे प्रोसेस ज्यादा है, कहीं पे स्ट्रक्चरल ज्यादा है। ये जो सी पॉइंट है, जो एग्जिस्टिंग मशीनरी को चेंज करने का, लेआउट चेंज करने का पूरा प्रोसेस, व्हेन आई वाज एट एस्कॉर्ट्स, महिंद्रा जो हमारे मेन कॉम्पिटिटर्स में, हमारे दो ही मेन कॉम्पिटिटर थे, हम तीनों के बीच में 90% ट्रैक्टर मार्केट होता था। महिंद्रा इन मुंबई एंड टैफे इन चेन्नई, ट्रैक्टर एंड अलाइड इक्विपमेंट्स, ट्रैक्टर एंड फार्म इक्विपमेंट्स, TAFE। सो इनके साथ हमारा कंपटीशन रहता था। तो हमें पता चला महिंद्राज ने अपनी पूरी जो मैन्युफैक्चरिंग एरिया है, जो असेंबली एरिया है, सब में इंस्टेड ऑफ अ स्ट्रेट लाइन प्रोडक्शन, दे हैव क्रिएटेड अ यू शेप्ड प्रोडक्शन लाइन, और उस यू के अंदर की साइड वर्कर्स को बिठा रहे हैं, ऑपरेटर्स को बिठा रहे हैं। तो दिस वाज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग कि इतना पैसा खर्च करके कोई सिर्फ मशीन्स को रीले करे, व्हाई हैव दे डन इट? तो दे वर वेरी नाइस, अदरवाइज वैसे कॉम्पिटिटर थे हम मार्केट में। तो वी सेड वी वुड लाइक टू कम एंड सी, तो दे अग्रीड, इवन दो वी वर स्ट्रॉन्ग कॉम्पिटिटर्स। हम तीनों के बीच में 28 से 32% मार्केट रहती थी उस टाइम पे, तो करीब करीब 90% ऑफ द मार्केट हम तीनों के बीच में होती। कभी कोई 2% ऊपर, कभी कोई 1% नीचे, ऐसे चलता। तो ये जो है आज की डेट में बहुत रेलिवेंट सा लगता है। क्यों किया था उन्होंने? क्योंकि आज की डेट में ठीक उसका उल्टा करना पड़ रहा है। तभी मैंने ब्रैकेट में लिख भी दिया है, बिफोर फिजिकल डिस्टेंसिंग सोशल डिस्टेंसिंग बिकेम द नॉर्म। तब क्या होता था, स्ट्रेट लाइन में अगर लोग काम कर रहे हैं तो उनका जो इंटरैक्शन, वो सिर्फ अपने राइट हैंड साइड वाले से और लेफ्ट हैंड साइड वाले से होता था। जब उनको यू शेप करके अंदर की साइड बिठाया गया, तब उनके राइट एंड लेफ्ट में जो है उनसे तो इंटरेक्शन है ही, पर उनके ठीक पीछे भी 3-4 लोग बैठे हैं, तो 4-5-6 लोगों से क्लोज इंटरेक्शन उनकी होती रही। तो रिप्लेसमेंट बिकेम वेरी इजी। अरे यार ये मेरा मशीन देखना जरा 2 मिनट के लिए, मैं आ रहा हूँ। इवन इफ दे हैव टू गो टू द वॉशरूम और समथिंग, देयर आर 4-5 पीपल टू टेक केयर ऑफ इट। So this is how रीडिजाइनिंग एग्जिस्टिंग मशीनरी तो स्ट्रक्चरल इंटरवेंशन है, बट उसके साथ साथ आपकी प्रोसेस जुड़ी हुई है। अब आपके सिलेबस में इनको मेथड्स बताया गया, जैसा मैंने कहा कि इसको अलग अलग नाम से पुकारा जाता है। 3 हमें आज करनी है। वन इज एक्शन रिसर्च। एक्शन रिसर्च क्या कहता है कि भाई जो कुछ भी है, एक्शन रिसर्च मुझे इसलिए बहुत पसंद है बिकॉज मैं थोड़ा रैशनल टाइप का आदमी हूं। हर चीज में आप इमोशन को मत लाइए, आप डेटा को देखिए क्या हो रहा है। ऐसा होना चाहिए मत कहिए, राइट? ज्यादातर प्रॉब्लम इस दुनिया में इसीलिए क्रिएट होती है बिकॉज हम उस दुनिया में रह जाते हैं, नहीं बोलना चाहिए, कोई मर्डर नहीं होना चाहिए, कोई कोविड नहीं आना चाहिए, ये सब इसमें क्या झगड़ा है, सब बोलेंगे ये। तो दिस इज एन आइडियल वर्ल्ड। भाई आपने वेजिटेरियनिज्म चूज किया है, आपकी पूरी छूट है, परफेक्टली फाइन, बट आप ये क्यों उम्मीद कर रहे हैं कि जंगल से आप गुजरेंगे तो वहां शेर भालू भी वेजिटेरियन बन जाएंगे और आपको नहीं खाएंगे? दिस इज वेरी फनी। तो आप डेटा पे जाओ कि भैया दुनिया में चोर बैठे हैं, मुझे अपने घर में खुद ही ताला लगाना है। आइडियल वर्ल्ड में मेरे घर में सामान पड़ा है, कोई क्यों ले जाए? तो therefore we need to understand, and I love action research because it talks about, आप अगर आप पढ़ें, systematic collection of data, हो क्या रहा है वो देखिए, and selection of a change action based on what the data analysis indicates. हवा में नहीं बातें कर रहे ऐसा होना चाहिए, हाँ ऐसा होता तो कितना अच्छा होता, वो इमोशनल लोगों की बातें हैं। हमें डेटा पे जाना है कि भैया कंपनी में हो क्या रहा है, ये बताओ। होना क्या चाहिए छोड़ दो, होना क्या चाहिए तो फिर हम डिसाइड करेंगे इस बेसिस पे कि हो क्या रहा है, राइट? तो सच क्या है, डेटा क्या बोल रहा है, उस पे आप फोकस करिए, डेटा को कलेक्ट करिए, उसकी एनालिसिस करिए, राइट? तो सेकंड सेंटेंस क्या कह रहा है? इंपॉर्टेंस लाइज इन प्रोवाइडिंग अ साइंटिफिक मेथोडोलॉजी फॉर मैनेजिंग प्लान्ड चेंज। ये बिल्कुल रैशनल साइंटिफिक तरीके से देखिए। और इसके 5 स्टेप्स क्या क्या हैं? डायग्नोसिस, फिर एनालिसिस। डायग्नोसिस मतलब डेटा कलेक्शन, उसके बिना कैसे होगा? जैसे लास्ट टाइम आई वाज मेंशनिंग, डॉक्टर भी तो डेटा कलेक्ट करता है ना, पल्स रेट क्या है, ब्लड प्रेशर कितना है, और आपका ब्लड टेस्ट क्या कह रहा है, एटसेट्रा। सो डायग्नोसिस, एनालिसिस ऑफ दैट डेटा, फीडबैक फ्रॉम पीपल, उसके बाद एक्शन लेना एंड इवैल्यूएशन। तो ये जो फीडबैक लिया जाता है, आप आराम से कह सकते हैं कि भाई जो ओडी कंसल्टेंट है वो तो खुद ही एक्शन प्लान बना सकता है, हमें फीडबैक लेने की क्या जरूरत है? रीजन इसका ये होता है ह्यूमन बिहेवियर में, और जब मैं ओबी पढ़ाता हूं तो ये पॉइंट पहले क्लास में मेरी बात होती है कि देयर आर सम कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स व्हिच पीपल एग्जिबिट। 5 कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स, उन डिटेल में नहीं जाऊंगा, सिर्फ रेलेवेंट वाला बता रहा हूं। People have this tremendous desire to be involved in decision making that affects them. मैं एक्सपर्ट होते हुए भी अगर आपकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में मुझे मालूम है कि ये प्रॉब्लम दिख रही है मुझे और ऐसा कर लीजिए, वो आपको इतने आसानी से हजम नहीं होगा क्योंकि मैंने आपको इन्वॉल्व नहीं किया। तो मुझे कहीं ना कहीं आपकी कोऑपरेशन चाहिए उस चीज को इम्प्लीमेंट करने के लिए। तो मैं आपको इन्वॉल्व करूंगा उस डिसीजन को लेते वक्त, ताकि वो ये ना कहे कि ये तो सुमित चौधरी का डिसीजन है, उसको पूछो। क्योंकि कलेक्टिवली डिसीजन ली गई है तो उसमें इट इज अ वी डिसीजन रादर देन एन आई डिसीजन। और जब भी कोई वी डिसीजन होती है देन you have a tremendous commitment to that decision because you feel कि ये तो मेरा डिसीजन है, मैं कैसे पीछे रहूं। तो इन्वॉल्विंग पीपल थ्रू द फीडबैक प्रोसेस इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। एक तो आप फीडबैक दोगे कि भाई मैंने तो ये पाया आपके यहाँ पे, अब आप बताओ क्या करें। तो जो भी सॉल्यूशन आप निकालोगे, जो एक्शन आप लोगे, वो एक कलेक्टिव एक्शन होगा, और एक्शन उनके थ्रू आप अगर डिसीजन लेंगे तो वो एक्शन की इम्प्लीमेंटेशन अच्छी होगी। और जैसे जैसे आप इंप्लीमेंट करते जाएंगे उसको इवेल्युएट भी करते रहिए कि ये प्लान ठीक ट्रैक पे जा रहा है कि नहीं जा रहा है। जब आप सड़क पे जाते हैं, लंबे रूट पे निकलते हैं, अननोन रास्ते में, बार बार गूगल मैप क्यों कंसल्ट करते हैं? कहीं गलत रास्ते में ना चला जाऊं मैं। खाली गाड़ी अच्छे से चला नहीं होगा, आपको सही रोड पे जाना है। आप गलत हाईवे ले लेंगे तो आप गलत जगह पहुंच जाएंगे। तो देयरफॉर दिस इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन्वॉल्वमेंट प्रोसेस। जो फीडबैक है, इट्स अ टू वे थिंग। जो आपने पाया, आपने डेटा उठाया, एनालिसिस किया, उनके सामने रखा, उनकी व्यूज ली, और फिर आपने एक्शन प्लान बनाया। तो दैट इज द एसेंस ऑफ एक्शन रिसर्च व्हिच इज गिवन इन दिस स्लाइड, राइट? अगर ये समझ आ गया तो बाकी आसान है।
So, hi, I have a question. Andrula here.
Okay. Welcome. Please ask.
Yeah, so, sir, in the previous slide, when we define action research,
Yes.
so at times, I just would like to know, there has to be a change, right? Which we identify
Right.
before implementation of action research. So this change can be for a problem, or this change can be just only a change.
It
So,
could be, yeah, sorry, please complete.
so that is my question: is action research and all these interventions, uh, they only for the change, or this is only for the problem solution?
See, any problem solution when you are looking at, you have to bring about some change, no?
Yes.
So both are very closely intertwined. The way I would separate is, there are times when you know the exact problem and you are looking for a solution to that problem. But there may be a situation where you know that something is wrong, but you don't know what is exactly wrong, which will be
Right.
thrown up by the data analysis. For example, if I'm getting fever over 15 days, so it could be malaria, typhoid, jaundice, whatever. So I have to go to the doctor, get a blood test done, and then the doctor with all his or her expertise will not be able to identify unless the blood test report is there. That is the data analysis part of it. So if I know for sure that this is jaundice, then a jaundice medication can be given. So it is sensible always to do a little bit of diagnosis and reanalysis, even if you are fairly certain that this is the problem. Because human behavior is extremely complicated, you will never know the exact problem unless you do a deeper analysis.
Right.
Let me give you an example. I think, I don't know whether I've mentioned this. There was this company, Modi Xerox, way back, and the only problem is whenever we get into examples, it takes time. So Modi Xerox started somewhere in late 70s, early 80s, right?
Yeah.
Now, this is a very crucial thing, which will probably explain the point in a very beautiful way. So they started there, and it was as you know, Xerox is a very, very prominent, global brand. I mean, even today people say Xerox kara ke lao, jabki Xerox is a company. The process is photocopy. There are still people who say Xerox though. So that is the kind of brand value that they had created. So Modi Xerox is an excellent company, excellent product. Photocopiers were new to India in the early 80s. So gradually, and they had the best of people, graduate engineers for their marketing, sales, graduate engineers for their service function, all of that. So somewhere in the mid of 80s, they started realizing that a lot of their service engineers are quitting. Okay. So this was a problem. So typically, like a short-term solution kind of a thing, without much thinking, they said, "Bhai, salary badha do." So they increased the salaries. 6 months down the line, they found the percentage of service executives that had left was even more. Then they got the shock of their life. In spite of making the best salary in the market, everything, they are still leaving. That means it is something deeper. That is when they went into an OD mode. They created a team consisting of their HR head, their sales head, and a finance guy. They sat down, interviewed people, talked to people who had quit, and a very interesting thing emerged. This is a whole case study, you know. So what emerged was that typically photocopier is sold in two segments. One is the large companies of offices, you know, institutions, government departments. So institutional selling part of it. The other is the photocopier segment, these small shopkeepers. There are markets, you know, where there are maybe 20 shopkeepers who have photocopying machine and all that. Now, in that segment, the maximum turnover was happening of the service executives. Sales executives, no problem. So then when they analyzed and talked to them, they realized that they are even leaving Modi Xerox for lesser jobs, lesser paid jobs. Then finally what emerged was, I'm cutting a long story short, that in those days, the company was in operation for 5-6 years. So many of their machines were getting older, and obviously new machines hardly have any problem as such. So the repair maintenance work would start after 3-4 years, and the number of machines had also grown. And those days, lodging a complaint itself was a big deal. You know, getting a phone call. Delhi Faridabad was a one-day project, you know, and in those, the dialing, finger painting in equipment. So people were unable to put even the complaint of this. But the sales guy, what did he tell them? अरे साहब हमारा machine तो खराब हो ही नहीं सकता, होगा भी, that is selling. अगर होगा भी तो आपको क्या करना है, वो भी ग्रेजुएट इंजीनियर है जो आके आपका सॉल्व कर देगा प्रॉब्लम. बट नाउ दे वर रियलाइजिंग कि ये एक दिन तो निकल गया कंप्लेंट लॉन्च करने में. जितने मेरे कस्टमर्स रेगुलर हैं, आ रहे हैं मेरे पास किताबें ले लेके फोटोकॉपी करवाने, मैं करवा नहीं पा रहा. तो देयरफॉर by the time the guy landed up there on the second day or the third day, this businessman, this small shopkeeper had already lost some 3, 4, 5,000 rupee business. So he was extremely angry, and this went against the promises that they had made. Now he gets the first Modi Xerox representative as the service engineer. Now he won't differentiate. He sees you as the Modi Xerox representative, and he is not an educated MBA like you who will talk in soft terms. So he started with the best of Sanskrit shlokas. You can imagine what that would mean, right? That you are all, you know, chore, this, that, and blah, blah, blah. So now this engineer is thinking that I have always been told in India that doctors and engineers are the cream of society. And here I am, this 8th pass guy is abusing me right, left, and center. And he being the customer, I can't even give it back to him. So what is the use of such a job? Now that was the real crux why people were leaving. But initially, in a short kind of analysis, superficial analysis, salary badha do, log ruk jayenge. That is where action research comes in, that collect data. Don't just jump to conclusions. Right. You know? So does that make the situation clear, that why you need action research?
Yes.
So you may have thought the problem is X, but the problem may be actually something completely different.
Yeah.
That is the idea.
Thank you.
Okay. So now I have explained to you basics of this. So you read the middle line, and as I have promised right at the beginning, the entire set of slides cannot be covered in this short time. So you please collect all your emails together and send it in one go in one email to me, and I will send you the slides, not an issue, so that you have more details to go through. I'm trying to explain the concepts here. They should be absolutely crystal clear. So the second last para, one sentence, this diagnosis is analogous to the physician's search to find specifically what ails a patient. And the Modi Xerox example should give you a clear picture of that. Okay? So the last para is about how this consultant goes about doing the job, doing the assignment rather. Fine. So diagnosis is the first step, followed by analysis. What problems do people key in? What patterns do these problems seem to take? And the change agent synthesizes this information into the primary concerns and problem areas. And therefore, now he or she looks into it and tries to find possible actions. And as I said, In the case of a doctor patient, typically the doctor gives the prescription. But in the case of any of OD processes, it is a joint thing so that it can be implemented much, much better. Possible actions are also jointly found out. First sentence extends that further. Action research includes extensive involvement of the change targets. Change targets are the people. Ultimately, everything will be done through people. That Abraham Lincoln's definition of democracy absolutely applies: by the people, for the people, of the people. Right? Third step is the feedback step, requires sharing with the employees what has been found, so that the employees should not tomorrow say, no, what you have found is not the right thing. So before you create a final step of what to do, share your findings with the employees and say, this is what I have found out. And if they have anything to discuss, let them discuss. And again, you see next, the employees, with the help of the change agent, develop action plans. So the change agent always tries to play a backseat role, so that the employees can feel that it is our creation. Right? Couple of years back, we did a complete project on performance management for the oldest 5-star chain of Kathmandu, of Nepal rather, the Annapurna group of hotels. So what did we do? We said, we are not going and doing a cost-based job. If you really want to move from performance appraisal to performance management, it is your HODs who have to create it. I will be a facilitator. So I had a couple of trips and it took 1.5 years, because I just used to give them stray ideas. We had workshops over 4 days, 5 days, multiple times, and they could feel that we have created this performance management system. That is when implementation becomes much, much more effective, because they have been involved in that. And that applies at home also. Even a small child, for buying a pen or a pencil for that child, if you take that child to the shop and along with the child buy that, the sense of ownership will be much. And these are, in modern jargons, we call it the buy-in of the idea, or the ownership of the idea, and things like that. Okay. So final step is consistent with the scientific underpinning of action research, evaluation of the action plans, effectiveness. Again, go back to that same, on the highway, you have to keep on evaluating whether you are on the right track or not. You have been on the road for 1 hour. You should have reached Manesar by now. Where are you? Are you really on the right, at the right speed, or whatever? So same concept applies there. Okay, now quickly, rest I will leave for you to study. We'll come to the second key thing, survey feedback. Now these are all interlinked, mind you. What we talked about, the diagnosis and analysis, that is what survey feedback is actually. So how do you assess what are the attitudes of the organizational members, discrepancies among member perceptions? The organization may be thinking we are doing a great job, but the employees may not think so. Who is right, who is wrong, how to decide? Perceptual issues are very, very difficult. Okay, so survey feedback is one of the tools that gives you an idea about the differences in perceptions, and then only you can try to solve these differences. So everyone in an organization is encouraged to participate in such survey feedback, but ultimate focus is on the managers, let's say heads of departments and their teams. So if you can improve each team in its working, obviously the organization stands to gain. Last class I had told you that HRD is the focus on the individual employee. But why are we focusing on the individual employee? The individual employees, when they develop their competence, their overall contribution to their organization increases, and therefore OD happens. Right. So you create a questionnaire around the kind of things that you want to investigate. You typically, these are anonymous questionnaires. You don't ask people to give their names, because then the truth may not come out. And as much as possible, you don't even use handwriting. So you give them detailed, what should I say, options to mark. And maybe in the final, those people who are quite brave, and these days, current generation, there is no such issue, or very less such issue in the good organizations. They give a feedback very openly. Of course, in the very traditional organizations, that is still not there. In fact, in one organization, while doing a program, I found that people are just not speaking at all. And L&D programs can't be just a one-way process. So I had to tell, and I realized that because the top management is sitting there. And I openly said that, I am sorry, I have to request the board of directors to go and do some fishing somewhere, so that, I can get some sense out of this audience. So that is the kind of thing you have to assess. So an anonymous question depth of what is happening actually. The survey makes sense. Okay. So these surveys generally center around lower part of the slide. You can see the decision making practices, the communication effectiveness, coordination between units, satisfaction with the organization or the job, peers and their immediate supervisors, these kind of issues which really drag organizations back, right? Because then people are just pulling on somehow till the time they find a better alternative. So they are certainly not, as we today call, engaged employees. What is their level of engagement? Just coming to the office and sitting there for 8 hours doesn't make sense. What is the output they are giving as compared to what they can give? So if they are kind of unhappy with these kind of issues that are listed, obviously you can't expect them to give the output. So that is the essence of survey feedback. So you derive data from this questionnaire, and then you try to also have, as I said earlier, the family, which means one boss and his or her team. Because if each small unit starts performing, it only adds up to the organization's performance, right? Then second para, as you can see, these data is a plural word, therefore datum is the singular, so it is these data then become the springboard for identifying problems and clarifying issues. So once the issues are clarified, then of course you can find some solutions. If you do not the clarity on the issues is not there, how are you going to solve those issues, right? So particular attention is given to the importance of encouraging discussion, ensuring that the discussion focuses on issues and ideas rather than on, it's not a personal enmity. I may or may not like you, that is not important. What is the organizational role, as you will see, which is coming in next few slides. So what is the role that you have to play? What is the role I have to play? And can we keep our individual differences in personal terms apart from this? Unfortunately, not many people understand this difference in today's world. You may be friends for going for a picnic, but that person may not be a great guy to work with on a serious issue. Someone may be an excellent company for a humorous situation, but when it comes to serious work, he or she may not be the right companion. So those have to be kept separately, which a lot of people, and unfortunately our upbringing is like that we are unable to differentiate this. They mix the issues and therefore they mess up personal relations or the office relations or both. Now these are typically the three questions in the middle. By those group, after the data has been achieved through feedback, you engage people in discussions, try to find answers to these questions. And what could be the implications? Are people listening to each other, or everybody is screaming? You know, so we need to check that out. Are new ideas being generated? Your competitor company moved to level 10, and you are still stuck at level 2. And it might sound very very cliched and very very routine to mention companies like Kodak. They were the bosses in photography movement. Where are they? So why did that happen? While the other, where is Ambassador today? And Ambassador was not a small company, it was a Birla company. 2014 they had to stop production. Fiat and Ambassador is what we grew up on as kids. There was nothing. Maruti also came much later, and then everything happened. So why would such companies who have a 30-year, 40-year, 50-year standing, why would they vanish? And today what you are seeing, the Oyos and the Airbnbs without a single property, what are they doing to the hotel and hospitality business? What is Uber and Ola doing without even owning one single car? So that is the kind of new ideas which are dominating the market, right? Can decision making, interpersonal relationships, or job assignments be improved? Are you giving very, very boring, monotonous jobs to people? Can there kind of a variety brought in? Can there be some exchange of ideas? खुले हवा में सांस लेने का मौका देते हो कि नहीं देते हो? Those kind of things, okay? So survey feedback throws up all this, then you discuss these, and then you come to your conclusions for solving. Now, the third important element that is always going to be, no big task ever be achieved by individuals. Okay. Where you may say Mahatma Gandhi, Subhash Bose, Bhagat Singh got us freedom, but unfortunately, yes, they did. But unfortunately, we forget the hundreds and thousands of people who laid down their life for the very same thing, but they never got the prominence. If people had not backed them up in their venture of getting independence for India, we would still be under the British rule. So it is all about team. So team building looks at operation of only one group, which has to be converted to a team, and subsequent slides will give you a brief. This is a full paper, I teach. So team building, group dynamics is one part of group dynamics, groups, teams, there's that. But here I have summarized in the next few slides, which I will not go into detail because that is not the purpose of this paper. But you have to know these basics. If somebody says, what is a group and what is a team? How do you differentiate? Some people will say, a group has, a team has a common objective. So then I ask them the question, well, imagine a sports event happening, World Cup final or whatever. So there are spectators and thousands of them, and there are the players. So why are the players called a team? The spectators are never called a team. They also have a common purpose of watching the match. So what is that special thing which makes a group convert to a team? That is what we're, so the last sentence, as you can see, in OD, our purpose is, there is already a group, but is it working as a team? That is what, it is exactly some kind of a difference between delegation, which has been there for donkey's years in management jargon, but it is being replaced by empowerment. Empowerment brings in that element of trust and faith, which delegation did not have. Delegation was more mechanical, right? So the human element is much more in empowerment. Similarly, now let's look at group and team. Look at this diagram very carefully. Now, can you say that they are shirkers, they have not done their job? They have completed their job. But what is happening? Is it fulfilling any purpose?
No.
The coordination was completely lacking. They have done the job. They have completed the job. But that's not what was the ultimate purpose. This is what we have to understand, right? So this kind of, obviously when I ask the question, is this teamwork? I know the answer what you will give. Obviously no. So first, what is a group? Right? So group also has particular objectives. Same objectives, as I said, the spectators. They have the same objective of watching a match. Perfectly fine. Then what converts a group into a team? When you talk about a group, there is much more interaction, decisions to help. Now, each spectator, if one spectator goes off to sleep, now understand this difference. If one spectator goes off to sleep, on them, like in happens in flights and trains. If one spectator sleep, that does not affect the objectives of the other spectator. They are still able to watch the match. But if one fielder goes off to sleep, the bowler bowls a beauty and the batsman gives the catch and the fielder is sleeping, can the purpose be achieved? So the interdependence is much, much more in the case of a team. So you see, work group, yes, again, I am just bringing you closer to team. A group that interacts primarily to share information, yes, that is needed in team also. To make decisions to help each group member perform, yes, that is also important. Again, a factor in the team also, within his or her area of responsibility. So they are helping each other, yes, that is a group. But what is a work team? A group, certainly, whose individual efforts result in a performance that is greater than the sum of the individual inputs. Right? So that is where 1 plus 1 has to become more than 2. Only then you are talking of a team. 1 plus 1 is 2, everybody knows. So that extra which is brought into the picture is teamwork. And this is what an OD consultant has to explain. And since this is an important concept, let me give you an example. Let us say ABC, 3 close friends. Okay. Now, being different individuals, they're great friends, no doubt. Being different individuals, their competencies are different. So A is an excellent ideator. Wonderful ideas he keeps coming into his mind. Great ideator, original ideas. But he's a poor communicator. Okay? He cannot express in written or in spoken words. And therefore, he is unable to make the others realize that he has great ideas. Okay? B, on the other hand, has no great ideas, but is good in computers, is good in animations. One can create a fantastic presentation out of that idea. But his original ideas are lacking. He has to get an idea from someone which he can convert into a nice presentation. But again, he is not great in his oratorial skills, or he's not a great presenter. That is where C comes in. C has no great ideas, 0 on computers like me, but can speak well. Very, very good presenter. Now imagine for a moment if these 3 guys start their own businesses, can you visualize any of them becoming a success? A has great ideas, but his prospective customers won't understand what he is, because he can't express well. Right? B has no ideas to sell in the first place, and of which he can create a presentation. And C has no presentation to go and present. So how does it work? Now imagine for a moment if A, B, and C all together. So A has great ideas. As I said, they are great friends. So even if, it's like a small child and mother. The child doesn't have to tell what the child is wanting at a level where the child has not yet, learned to speak. Maybe a 2-year-old child or something. So by the expressions of the child, the mom knows what the child needs. Exactly in the same way, these guys being close friends, A in his tutti futti bhasha can explain to B what the idea is. Once B gets that idea, he converts that into a fantastic presentation, hands it over to C, who goes and makes a fantastic presentation. Now, can you see any flaws? All the three guys had flaws, but as a team, they have covered up. And the final output that they are giving as a team is flawless, virtually flawless. There's nothing 100% flawless in this world. That is the concept of a team. And this is what an OD consultant has to explain to people, that individually you can't do much more than what you are doing probably. But if you share your thoughts, look at who can do it better than you, and you come together, then 1 plus 1 plus 1 will become more than 4, not remain 3. This is the concept of a teamwork which you have to bring in, and therefore OD will automatically happen if there is. So there are 5 stages of group development into a team. I am not getting into the details. I'll just show you one diagram to explain. These are the 5 stages. Tuckman has beautifully explained it. I am giving you these slides for the simple reason, if you want to know more, you can always Google or read up books or whatever. But we have limited time, so we have to quickly complete in the next 5 minutes so that you have 5-10 minutes to ask questions. And then, as I said, please collect all your emails together and give it to me so that, offline I can send you the details. Okay. So this is how it begins. People come together. That is forming. When you join an organization, you don't know anybody. You are put into a sales team or an HR team or an accounts team or a finance team, whatever. Then the storming happens. Different people come up with different ideas. You discuss, you argue, you debate. So from forming a team, you move to the stage of storming. That is stage 2. From storming emerges the norms. What will be followed as a group, right? So norming, you create some rules, regulations, etc., taking everybody's views into consideration. And this is what the OD consultant also needs to do when he or she is trying to build a team. Then comes the real thing. After all, why are we doing all this? We need to perform. The organizational performance is of utmost importance. So we need to perform. That's what is stage 4. And then there is a holistic synergism. Everybody has understood that I am not perfect, so B is also not perfect, C is also not perfect, but A plus B plus C can jointly produce something which is near perfect and which is needed by our customers, right? And that you also have to remember that probably in when I taught you in the first term, I may have mentioned somewhere, grand old man of economics, Adam Smith, gave a beautiful example 250 years back or so, where he said that the entrepreneur who comes up with a factory, with a shop, with a business, he is doing it for his or her own benefit. We need to remember that. The employee who comes to work for that unit is doing to satisfy his or her needs. Right? The entrepreneur wants more money out of whatever he has, so he invests money. The employee comes to work because he or she needs the salary for satisfying or fulfilling his or her needs. And then there is a customer who is buying your products or service because he or she needs that product or service to satisfy his or her needs. So there are 3 parties in this game who all have their selfish interests. But beautifully, when the three interests are coming together, everyone is helped. The entrepreneur makes a little more money than he had. The employee fulfills his or her needs and lives nicely, and the customer lifestyle becomes a little better because of the product or service that you give. So we must remember, we can't exploit people. We have to remember this, synergy of different selfish interests coming together to serve everybody's common interest. That is the whole game of working as a team. Okay. So in today's day and age, where particularly, let's say, IT companies or construction companies, where teams are created for a certain project, and once the team performs, that project is online and it is done and the bugs are eliminated. Now it's time to move on. So the entire team is disintegrated, and then they maybe become part of another team. So that means these kind of organizations, construction particularly, project-based organizations, and your IT particularly, once the project is done, the team needs to disintegrate. I'm purposely using a strong word because that team has fulfilled its purpose. So there is an adjournment stage. Now at that stage, a sensible organization captures the entire experiences of that team. Otherwise, each team will come and commit the same mistakes as this team did. So before adjourning, you have to have a system of knowledge management which captures all the learnings of this team, so that any future team which has similar work to do can learn from the experience of this. You do not keep repeating the mistakes of the earlier teams, right? So even a cricket team, they have a video analyst nowadays with every team who keeps on showing them videos of their past performance of other players. The bowlers are shown how the batsman of the other team has been playing, etc., etc., so that they can learn from there and accordingly bring about changes in their strategy and tactics, right? So that is the game of team building, which will help your OD process. So therefore, the fifth, if you can see the fifth step is adjourning. And in this diagram, Tuckman has shown it as the stage of adjournment. But once you have created a synergistic team, your elements of change have come in, and you can go on with that. If a similar assignment comes again, the same team can continue to do that. For example, in manufacturing products, typically, they are not like IT that the teams have to be disbanded. If Lysol or Dettol, Reckitt Benckiser products, these days there is so much of need for this because of the current scenario. So their production processes only needs more and more production. Same way, same process, same quality. They have to produce more and more. So there is no change that is coming in. So the same team can easily continue. So forming, storming, norming, performing, and adjourning. Okay, so these were the three essential things. So the third point is the key: interdependent functions, and that is what differentiates the players who are inside the boundary line and the spectators. The spectators also have one common purpose, which is number one, but their functions are not interdependent. One guy can sleep off and the other guy can still see the match. And that happens at home also. Some members of the family are very enthusiastic watching the match, and while some others in another room are watching a movie or something like that. Right? So they are not interdependent. But team is very, very cohesive, agreed norms and values which regulate their behavior towards each other. And things like when Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma play for Mumbai and Delhi respectively, Virat wants Rohit to be out on first ball, and Rohit wants Virat to be out first ball. But when they are playing for India, their agreed norms and values have changed. Now they are part of Team India and both want both to go for centuries and more. Those are the kind of things that you have to inculcate in teams. So essentials of team working, and I'll stop there for your questions. One, accomplishment of tasks. So whenever you are talking of teams, please define the task very, very clear. Telling a sales guy, do your best is not no definition of task. You have to define, you have to sell 100 computers every month. You have to visit every dealer at least once a week or whatever your norms, right? So please define the task. The task is not, again, since we are talking of cricket, I keep on talking of cricket whenever a team thing comes, because I find in India at least most people are familiar with broadly what is happening in cricket. So 2007 was a disastrous year for us in World Cup, where we lost to Bangladesh, and that was a crazy situation because that very night, 8 of us were dining together in India Habitat Center and TV was on, and we were 6 Indians. We had one Bangladeshi and one Pakistani with us. And one hand, India was losing to Bangladesh, and the other side, Pakistan was losing to Ireland. So on the table, there was only one gentleman from Bangladesh who was happy, and the rest of the 7 were, our dinner was spoiled. So I can never get over it. So why I am mentioning it here? Because accomplishment of task. If you say this is a cricket team, they have gone to play cricket. So fine, they were playing cricket. Why were we unhappy? Because the task was not playing cricket. The task was very clear, winning. There should be no confusion, right? So all this nice talk of, you should be very sporting, very this thing, that thing, all that is fine. Ethics, everything is fine. But then don't crib about losing or whatever. So please define the task very, very clearly. This is what is expected. Then high motivational level of members. I remember a statement of Narayan Murthy, and it is sweet music to a HR guy like me, when he said that the biggest of my assets leave me every evening, and they must have a good enough reason to come back tomorrow morning. Now you can very well imagine his buildings and his PCs or his servers, they are not leaving him every evening. They are not coming back every morning. So who is leaving and who is coming back? So he was essentially talking of people. So they must have a good enough reason. They must be motivated enough to come back happily and work next day. That is the kind of spirit that a real team should have. And third, I have already explained, ordinary people, go back to that ABC Friends example, synergy effect, which is the crux of teamwork. Ordinary people working extraordinarily to supplement and complement each other's competency. That is a given, that your competencies must add on if you are working as a team. But more importantly, the second part, and support each other's incompetence to produce phenomenal results. So if one batsman goes out for a duck, but the other guy comes and scores a century, the average still becomes 50. And with 11 people there, 550 can be scored. So even if there are failures, and there will be failures, so we need to see that somebody else picks up from where one player failed. So that is called the synergy effect, that you add competencies, but more importantly, you eliminate the incompetencies, and therefore you still are able to give a wonderful output. So I'll stop there. These were the 3 essentials. Rest, as I said, I can send you this is a very, you will find it interesting when you read. So these slides I can send it on to you, not an issue. So if you have any quick questions, because I had committed that I'll finish at 7:15, because I don't want to hold back everybody, right? So please shoot your questions and let's finish in the next 2-3 minutes. Anybody?
So as of now, it's perfectly fine. So hope,
Great.
hope this deck is coming to us through our mail ID.
Yeah, absolutely. But please do me a favor, collect all of them together, send me one consolidated email so that, I don't have to separately send that. Either make a group or
Sure.
whatever, or you just list down all of them together so that in one place I can paste it and send it back. That is my only
Okay.
request, not an issue.
Okay, sir.
Because you will need some extra reading, and there is lot of material available with the slides that I cannot cover here. I have covered just about half, right? So that is the thing. Okay, all the very best.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome always. Thank you, Arun.